Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of What's Up Wednesdays. So welcome back to another episode of What's Up Wednesdays. My name's Hannah, and this week I'm covering how to actively listen so you can have more effective relationships, both in your personal life and your business life. So the first key to listening with intent is to remove all distractions. In our digital world, it is really hard to not be distracted, but we absolutely have to put that phone aside and spend undivided attention, especially when there's someone important that we want to maintain a relationship with. So one practice of good intent listening that I like to do is when I'm cooking a meal, I'll throw on some music and I'll just leave my phone on the counter. I don't even look at it unless I'm using it for a recipe. But whoever I'm dining with will not see my phone at the table. I really take that time to set my phone aside and to listen to their day. I like to ask questions, what happened today? What did you enjoy? What was your high and low? That's something that my family and I really like to do whenever we get together for family get-togethers. We all go around the table and we say a high and a low. And being able to recognize what happened in your day and to intently listen without any distractions really shows that you care about that person and what they have to say. The next thing that I would suggest for effectively listening to have better communication in relationships is to look that person eye to eye. Show them that your focus is on them and what they have to say, and you're listening to every single word. You're not listening just to hear the words pass through and then respond. You're listening just to listen. Sometimes when a friend is telling a story or they are telling about their day, it can be hard to kind of just dissect and listen to every single word. But when you do this and you make it all about them, it shows that you actually took the time and you actually care what they have to say. So maybe sometimes they don't want a response or they don't want, a solution to their problems. They just want someone to listen and to care what they have to say. They want someone to see them, to look them eye to eye and know that they have your full attention and that you are present and you are with them, you're in it. That is so powerful. And just an eye-to-eye glance. This is a technique used in a lot of interviews. When you're in an interview, the interviewer is looking at you. They're waiting for your response. They're not waiting to just write down an answer and move on to the next question. Sometimes they are, but chances are in those hypothetical situation questions they ask, tell me about a time when you had a difficult customer, or tell me about a time when you weren't doing your best. They're listening to the words you have to say. They're trying to understand what the bigger picture was. So they want to know, from start to finish, how was this situation resolved and what did you do to fix it? Or what were your actions to follow whatever this situation was? But they're listening with their eyes. They're hearing with their ears, they're listening with their eyes, and then they process it and ask either a follow-up question or they write down some notes and they move forward. But that intention and that, look is there. So practice this whenever you're able to fully listen to someone and just, if you ask about someone's day, ask about their day and listen. Don't just ask and move about to your day and throw on the TV or start doodling on your phone. Set the distractions aside and actually listen. The next thing that I would suggest for actively listening is to ask a follow-up question. Make sure that you heard the words the way that that person wanted to convey. Did you fully listen to their story from start to finish and actually pay attention to the words? Listen to the inflection of their voice and the way they say things. Are they saying with this sort of anger and frustration? Or are they telling a story that makes them really light up and be very happy? Ask some more questions about that. Like, why did your coworker decide to do this at work? Or, that's hilarious that your boss did this. Or, I'm sorry that happened to you at work today. How did that make you feel? Ask those follow-up questions and actually continue the conversation. Start some dialect about that story or about that person's day. Show that you actually did listen to all the words and then ask them a question that lets them know that you care to know more. Don't make it fake though. Don't want to ask just general questions like, yeah, huh, mm-hmm. the whole like smile and nod thing, like that sounds really fake, and someone can tell when that's not a genuine listener. It makes me at least want to shut down and not want to say any more about my day or continue my story at all. So don't just ask the question just because you think that that's what they want you to do. Kind of get a feel for what that person's actually saying and then respond in a way that lets them know that you were actually paying attention. The kind of last piece of advice that I would suggest to listen intently is to prepare your energy and your space for listening. You know, if you come home from a busy day and you throw all your stuff on the floor and you just want to sit down and just have a nice cold beer, or you just want to, throw on the TV and scroll through your phone, that's okay. But don't try to actively listen and be there for your partner or for your friend or whoever is trying to present you with a story or talk about their day if you aren't prepared to listen fully and actually be engaged. So it's okay to say, hey, are you in a space to hear this right now? And if not, that's okay. It's okay to tell that friend, hey, I really want to listen to you. This is very important to me. At the moment, I've had a really long day and I'd like to just sit for half an hour and just drink this really quickly and just kind of unwind a little bit, and then I'm all yours. How much more effective of communication is that when you set those boundaries and let that person know, hey, you are important to me and I do want to listen. I'm just not in a place right at this moment to do that. Can I have a little bit of space and then I will get back to you and I'm all yours, I'm all ears, tell me about everything. I think that shows a lot of maturity, and it shows that you are prepared to be there for that person, but you also need to protect your energy and create a space for it. This is something that I've been a little bit more careful about doing with friends, especially because, this is something I heard from a YouTuber, that our friends are our therapy, they're our counselors, and in a way they are, and our family can be that as well. And our partners, the people around us are a supportive net for a reason, but they aren't there to dump our garbage on. Don't treat them like a garbage can where you can just throw all your drama and all of your, crap that you had to deal with on the day on their shoulders. That's just not fair, because everyone is dealing with their own stuff, their own burdens, their own frustrations, their own joys, their own highs and lows. So make some space to talk about that. Maybe that's something, if you are in a relationship, that you sit down at dinner and you say, hey, do what you got to do after work. You do you. I'll give you your space. And as soon as we can sit down and enjoy our meal together, we remove our phones and our distractions. I'm all yours for the next hour. Talk about whatever you want. I'm here for you. That means so much more than trying to unwind right away and allow that person to unwind too. It's just a little bit of a chaos. If I have been going through something and I'm having a hard time, I've tried to be mindful of sending a message, like a heads up to my friend, like, hey, I've got some stuff I need to dish out. Are you in a place, or is your energy good to hear this? Because if not, it's okay. I don't need a rant. But if you are in a place, I would love for you to just listen and hear me out. You don't even have to say anything back. I just need to get this out. And ranting into a journal does wonders. This is something that I would say, regardless of if you take anything else from this video, this is my final tip that I really want you to try to do more often, to listen to yourself first. Spend that time looking yourself eye to eye, write down in a journal, record on your phone, record on a camera, whatever you need to do. Listen to yourself first. Listen to the way that you convey those words about your day. Feel the heat rising if you had a bad day, why you were so triggered. Understand how that happiness or that joy or whatever activity happened made you feel and gave you energy. Really dissect what you're going through and give yourself the time of day to listen intently to what is happening in your mind and your body. This is a good practice of self-care that I talk about quite a lot, but listen to yourself first, and especially in those times when we're frustrated, if you can listen to yourself first and get that out first, then when you try to effectively communicate with someone that did upset you or trying to dump some drama on, it's a lot less harsh. You're able to rationally think about why you were triggered in a certain way, or why a certain event triggered an emotional response. You've kind of filtered through it by listening to yourself first, so you can communicate more effectively with that person that you're trying to talk to. So in real life or not, adding some sort of filter to the way that you communicate with yourself and the way that you communicate with other people makes it a lot more efficient. Listening is a skill that is so much different than communicating better, but they do go hand in hand. So when you can listen with intent and really focus on the words someone's saying, not listening just to respond or just to get in an argument or just to get your point across, truly listening without having to respond at all, it does wonders with the way that you can maintain relationships and connections with people. So I do hope this was effective for you all and something that you can take to heart with any sort of relationships you're trying to maintain. So thank you all so much for tuning in this week. I hope this provided some insight on how to listen more intently and to overall, improve your communication in whatever relationships you are aiming for. Thank you all so much for tuning in. If there is a friend that needs to listen a little more intently or would like to hear this message to kind of affirm the things that they're already doing to listen better, definitely give it a share. I'm sure they would love to hear it. And it definitely helps to grow our audience and to send this message out into the world. So thank you all so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this message. Tune into all of our social channels for any updates. We do put our day trips on sale at least one of our day trips every weekend. So definitely grab that when you can. And if you need any travel advice or specific tips, we're starting a new travel series specifically for traveling safely, traveling a new and different way. So be sure to tune into that. All of that will be on our YouTube channel and IGTV as well. Thank you all so much again for tuning in. We will see you next time. Bye for now. We are updating our day trips every week and offering different sales trips. Hi, Pup. Oh, hi. You came and said hi. Hi, baby. Oh my gosh. Hi. You're good? I was hoping they'd come say hi, so